All right, today we're going to talk about something a little bit out there, a banana that doesn't even exist yet. But get this, it could save a billion-dollar industry and help fight global hunger. Yeah, we're talking about the nano banana. Okay, think about this for a second. What if you could buy a bunch of bananas and they just stayed perfectly yellow for weeks, not just a couple of days? And what if that same banana was also packed with extra vitamins? Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, that's the big idea behind the Nano Banana. So let's peel back the layers here. What is this thing, really? What makes it the banana of tomorrow?
So, at its core, the Nano Banana is basically a total redesign of the banana we all know and love. Scientists are using two really powerful tools here, nanotechnology and gene editing. And with those, they're trying to build a banana that's just better in every way. We're talking stronger, way more nutritious, and it lasts a whole lot longer.
Okay, let's put them side by side. The banana we eat today, the Cavendish, it's super vulnerable to disease. The Nano Banana, on the other hand, would be built to resist it. Nutrition? We could go from standard to fortified with all sorts of vitamins. And shelf life? This is a big one. From a few days to several weeks. I mean, these aren't just little improvements, right? These are total game changers.
But you might be wondering, why? Why do we even need a new banana? I mean, the ones we have are fine, right? Well, the answer is kind of shocking. There's a secret crisis brewing that could wipe out our favorite fruit.
You know that banana sitting on your kitchen counter right now? It has a secret, and it's a big one. It's a clone. Almost every single banana you see in the supermarket is a genetic clone of every other one. Now that used to be a good thing. It made them easy to grow and ship. But now that's its biggest weakness.
And the crazy part is, we've seen this movie before. Back in the 50s, the banana everyone ate was called the Gros Michel. People said it was way tastier. But then a fungus called Panama disease came along and practically wiped it out. So the whole industry switched to the Cavendish because it was resistant. But guess what? A new strain of that exact same disease is back. And this time our banana has absolutely no defense.
99%. Just think about that number for a second. 99% of all the bananas shipped around the world are genetically identical clones. So if a disease can kill one of them, it can kill all of them. It's a house of cards, and it's getting shaky.
Okay, so with that pretty scary reality, scientists are turning to some seriously high-tech solutions. Let's dive in and see how they're basically building a brand new banana from the ground up. So how do you do it? It's a pretty wild three-step process. First, you've got gene editing. Think of it like scientists going into the banana's DNA with tiny scissors to snip out the bad parts and build in resistance to diseases. Step 2, this is the nano part. They infuse the banana cells with these microscopic, edible particles that are just jam-packed with extra vitamins. And finally, they take those supercells and grow them in a lab until they become a whole new banana plant. Now, nanoparticles sound super futuristic and maybe a little scary, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Just think of them as tiny little vitamin capsules. Or maybe like tiny edible shields that can deliver nutrients and help protect the fruit. It's that simple.
Of course, anytime you have technology this powerful, you're gonna have a debate, and the Nano Banana is no exception. There's a lot of promise here, but also a lot of potential problems. So let's get into it and look at both sides of the argument. Okay, so on the one hand, the upsides are huge. I mean, first off, disease resistance could literally save a food that millions and millions of people depend on. Then you've got the extra nutrition, which could be a massive weapon against vitamin deficiencies around the world. And hey, let's not forget about a longer shelf life. That means way less food getting thrown out. That's a triple win.
So, the people who are for this, they see it as way more than just saving a banana. For them, it's about using technology to go after some of the world's biggest problems, you know? We're talking about hunger and malnutrition on a huge scale.
But then you have the other side of the coin, and the concerns they raise are really serious. Like, what are the long-term health effects here? We don't really know. And what happens if one giant company owns the patent to a super banana? Who controls our food then? Not to mention the bigger ethical questions, like should we be designing life? And what does this do to natural biodiversity?
And that really gets to the heart of the fear here. Are we turning food into a piece of patented tech? And if we are, who's writing the rules? It's like we're walking into a completely new world and we have no map.
So, after all that, where do we stand? Let's take a step back, because this debate over one single fruit, it's actually about the future of everything that ends up on our plates.
See, the Nano Banana is more than just a banana. You can think of it as a test run. All these big questions we're asking about it, about safety, about ethics, about who's in control, these are the exact same questions we're going to have to answer for engineered wheat, for lab-grown meat, for all the food tech that's just around the corner.
And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Our food is literally becoming technology. So, who gets to decide what we eat? The scientists, the big corporations, the government, or is it up to us, the people who actually eat it? It's a tough one, and it's a question we're all going to have to think about.